The Grand Challenge, Pokemon's premier online competition, where the rewards are still somehow laughably bad and where thousands of players queue up to prove they've got what it takes to be VGC champions, only to immediately click fake out into a photograph. Hayes here from the Towering Skies project, and today I've got something a little different for you. Now, I've dipped my toes into the last few grand slash global challenges, and I've managed to be impressively, consistently average every single time. But with Scarlet and Violet preparing to ride off into the sunset, I figured one of the final online tournaments of this generation's flagship game deserved something a little different. So instead of using a meta team like a boring adult, I decided to run something no sane person in the history of competitive Pokemon has ever willingly loaded into Team Select. A team I proudly dubbed the GaLoyal 6. This masterpiece of poor decision making combines two of the most overlooked trios in recent Pokemon history, the Galarian birds from the Sword and Shield Crown Tundra DLC and the Lousy 3 from the Scarlet and Violet Teal Mask DLC. What? They're called the Loyal 3, not the Lousy 3? I mean, they seem pretty lousy to me, anyways, but enough of that. Let's take a look at the squad. We begin with the good boy, or the not so good boy, Okidogi, the main physical bruiser of this team. He's running an assault vest with max HP, max attack, and an adamant nature because subtlety was never part of the plan. The assault vest combined with drain punch gives it some solid staying power, letting it stick around longer than people probably want it to. Grass Terror helps patch up the glaring psychic weakness and also gives it a nice answer into redirection from things like Among Us and Sinistra. It's running the ability Guard Dog because if Incineroar thinks it's coming in here to intimidate freely, it's very much mistaken. I'm also using Poison Fang over Poison Jab, mainly because the 50% poison chance is funny and occasionally useful, which is really the spirit of this team. And to round things out, it's got Knockoff and Stomping Tantrum for coverage. Next up is the annoying primate, Monkey Dory. Its entire purpose on this team is to be an absolute nuisance. It's running Fake Out, Parting Shot and Trick with Black Sledge, which it can hand off to bulky targets like Archaludon to slowly chip them down while being deeply irritating in the process. It's also running Frisk, which lets me scout opposing items and figure out exactly who deserves to have their day ruined. Finally, Acid Spray rounds out the set, giving it a way to drop special defense and help its teammates secure quick KOs. Final member of the Loyal 3 is Pheasantipity, the team's resident flying brick wall. Its job is basically to sit on the field, refuse to leave, and slowly make life miserable for the opponent. It spreads damage with Dazzling Gleam, offers speed control with Icy Wind, and thanks to its ability Toxic Chain, every attack comes with a chance to poison the opponent as an added bonus. It's holding leftovers and also packing Roost, which means it can hang around for a surprisingly long time while the opposing side gradually gets worn down. And now, on to the birds. First up is Galarian Articuno. Shout out to fellow Thavurian TJ for suggesting this build. The idea here is to combine Throat Spray with Hyper Voice to immediately boost a special attack by one stage. Then if you can also bait and intimidate and trigger competitive, suddenly this thing goes from mildly concerning to why is this doing damage. At its peak it can hit +3 special attack and with the normal Terra boosting Hyper Voice even further, this is basically Blood Moon or Asuna from Teemu. It's also running Freezing Glare for strong stab damage plus Shadow Ball for coverage. Next up is Galarian Zapdos, who, much like Okidogi and Articuno, is praying for Incineroar to come in and make a terrible mistake. Thanks to Defiant, and Intimidate gives it a free +2 attack boost which can turn it into a very real threat very quickly. Strong stab options like Thunderous Kick, Close Combat and Acrobatics, plus Stellar Terror for an extra burst of damage. This thing can actually hit alarming hard. I'm also running a Jolly Nature on Zapdos because frankly this bird needs to move fast as it is not built to tank anything stronger than a Harsh Comment. Focus Edge guaranteeing that Zapdos survives at least one hit, giving it at least one more chance to inflict damage. And finally we have Galarian Moltres, the glue holding this strange science experiment together. It brings spread damage with Fiery Wrath, speed control with Tailwind, and even some cheeky flinch potential with Air Slash. This one is built fully defensive with Poison Terror and a Citrus Berry because its main role is simply to stay on the field, support the rest of the team, and enable the heavier hitters like Okidogi, Zapdos and Articuno to do their thing. So, these are the 6. Together they somehow form a functional enough core to take swings at some of the format's biggest monsters, things like the Big Arch, no, not that one, Landorus, Urshifu and Feromoan. And to help break down the chaos, I've brought in my guy and friend of the Thavurian Skies project, Guren from the Pokesphere, to provide commentary, insight and probably concern over my life choices. Be sure to check out Guren and Pokesphere, links will be in the description. And with that said, over to you, Guren.
Hello, everybody. It's your boy, the Edge Master, with the Dirty Boy swag. Guren Shiratori here with a commentary for my buddy Hayes and his battles in the GBC challenge. Right now, it is his very first battle from the GBC from I believe the previous month, which is February. And he is using the GaLoyal 6. That's right, you heard me. The GaLoyal 6. That is the Galarian Birds and the Loyal 3. Well, lousy 3 in my opinion, because, you know, what the actual lore story is implicated. Not going to say much. You guys just got to play the DLC to find out. But he is up against... Oh my god, what is he up against? He is up against an Incineroar, Rillaboom, Ogerpon, Heartflame, Raging Bolt, Urshifu, most likely Surging Strikes, and a Tornadus. Ooh, what a scary team comp to go up against, if you ask me. And he's starting off with the Monkey Dory, the Galarian Zapdos, going to the Galarian Articuno, and the Galarian Moltres. Oh, let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I've used this team myself as well, the GaLoyal 6, and it's actually a pretty fun team to rock with. There's just a few things that are kind of missing about it. Like there's like it really kind of struggles in like the priority department, I think, in my opinion. But it's, you know, it's doable. I mean, you're kind of tanky. Well, you have like one dedicated dish tank anyways, but not a bad one, that's for sure. And we're starting off. It is the Tornadus and the Incineroar coming out first. Ooh, that is a bad choice for his opponent, because Galarian Zapdos has that Defiant proc, baby. Let's go. That's what we're talking about. Woo! So he's coming in. He's going for like a close combat, and Monkey Dory, I think, came in with a fake out, if I saw that correctly. Now we're just waiting on his opponent. His opponent probably has a very tough choice to make, is seeing as what he's going to do, because he did just give the boost to the Galarian Zapdos, so I think a good thing to do is to fake out. But his fake out just got faked out. Close combat coming in from the Galarian Zapdos, but might KO the Incineroar, but a Tailwind does proc first from the Tornadus for its prankster ability. Close combat coming in. Bam! KO. I don't know if the crit on the fake out mattered or not, but there we go, baby. The Incineroar is out. His opponent is now down to 3 Pokemon. What will he be bringing out next? First KO goes to Hayes. I'm wondering what his opponent's coming out with. Raging Bolt, the Rank Master. Oh, let's go. All right, Raging Bolt coming up. Ooh, going to be a very big toughie for Galarian Zapdos to contend with, especially with that booster energy special attack boost. Ooh, that is going to be something, that's for sure. All right, so coming in, we're seeing what he's going to do. He's using the Trick. Ooh, Trick. Detect. All right, Detect sounds really good to me. Now, will his opponent Thunderclap? Oh, there's a Bleak Windstorm coming in. Does not hit the Galarian Zapdos, thanks to the Protect. Does it hit the Monkey Dory? It misses the Monkey Dory. Let's go, Monkey Dory. Thunderbolt coming in. Yup. Protected. All right, Monkey Dory with the Trick coming in. I believe it has a Black Sludge item, and it is now on the Raging Bolt. Haha, he will be taking damage every turn now for not being a poison type. All right, what is Hayes going to do next? Is he going to swap out? Is he going to keep the Monkey Dory in? I think an Acid Spray would be really nice here, or he could use Trick again too, honestly. You can see what item the Tornadus has and probably take it. That would be funny. Stellar, close combat onto the Raging Bolt. Is it going to pick up the KO? It does have the Defiant proc, so maybe it might. It just might, especially with that Stellar, boosted Stellar Crown. I really should use a Stellar Crown more often myself. But I usually don't. I mean, I like the fact that it could do like a very big hit with that one, you know, that one attack, but like the fact that afterwards it doesn't give you any changes to your stats kind of throws me off a little bit. Ooh, I forgot the Galarian Zapdos does have the Focus Sash, so it does live through that Thunderbolt. Ooh, close combat coming up. Is it going to pick up the kill on the Raging Bolts? Bam! That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Galarian Zapdos picking up a second KO into this match. And now his opponent is left with his last two. Parting shot coming in. Oh yeah, lower the attack stat and special attack stat on that Tornadus. Let's go, Monkey Dory. You're my favorite of the GaLoyal. I mean, of the Loyal 3. He just has that attitude, you know? Monkey Dory just has that attitude. What will Hayes bring out next? Will it be the Galarian Articuno or the Galarian Moltres? Personally, I would like to see the Galarian Articuno. Nope. It is a Galarian Moltres. But that's okay. That means he can just use Fiery Wrath to hit both opponents at once. Ogerpon Hearthflame coming out. I don't think a Terrasto was used yet on his opponent's side of the field, so this Ogerpon might be the one using it. Get that coming out once again. And did I see that right? Was that a Tailwind on the Galarian Moltres? Bleak Windstorm coming in. Protect being proc by the Galarian Zapdos. And it does land a hit on the Galarian Moltres. Up, speed falling on the Galarian Moltres. Ivy Cudgel coming in on the Galarian Moltres as well. Oh, Berserk stat procced. Berserk ability proc. My bad. Ooh, heal up with the Citrus Spray. Let's go. Alright, and there comes a Tailwind. So even with the one speed drop, I think the Galarian Moltres should be a tad bit faster than the other two teams' Pokemon. But then again, the opposing team could use their own Tailwind too if it's already been settled. Acrobatics, go for the acrobatics. Do it. Focus Sash has been procced. Air Slash also would be a good thing tier 2. Or you just cast Protect. That's fine too. I would have just gone for a Fire Wrath just cause, but that's me though. Oh, Spiky Shield coming in. That is going to KO the Galarian Zapdos. But that is okay, because Galarian Zapdos did do its job. And it did take out two of the opposing team's Mons, so... Oof. That does kind of suck a little bit, though. But what can do, what can do. Air Slash coming in. Ooh. Protected because of the Spiky Shield. Now what's coming out next? Monkey Dory? Let's go. Our boy Monkey Dory is coming back onto the field with that fake out potential, baby. Ah, that Covert Cloak. So yeah, he can indeed... Yeah, he can probably Air Slash the Ogerpon again, and he can definitely fake it out now, because if he tries to proc Spiky Shield, well... chances are it's probably not going to be very likely for him. So he has to go on the attack here. Ooh, but the Terrasto is coming in, so we are looking at now the, what is it called? The Ogerpon Hearth Flame form. I forgot what it's called, but it gets that attack boost. Embody Aspect. There we go. Fake out coming in. This Ogerpon will not be doing anything this turn. Ooh, taunt coming in for the Monkey Dory. That's okay. It still has Acid Spray. Air Slash coming in, dealing a good decent chunk of damage, almost at the 50% mark for his opponent. Fiery Wrath, Fiery Wrath, Fiery Wrath. Go on with the Fiery Wrath, buddy. Let's go. Alright, Acid Spray. Acid Spray definitely pretty good right now. Lower that special defense on that Ogerpon. Because once this Ogerpon is gone, this Tornadus has no chance at all to turn the tides of this battle. Bleak Windstorm misses the Galarian Moltres. And it misses the Monkey Dory. Let's go. No proc off the Bleak Windstorm. Ivy Cudgel coming in. Will it knock out the Monkey Dory? It does indeed. Farewell, Monkey Dory. You have served your purpose well this match, I believe. One Fire Wrath coming in, and it does indeed KO the Ogerpon. Now all that's left is his opponent's Tornadus, and this is most likely the game for Hayes. Let's go, buddy. GG. Unless this Tornadus can score like a bunch of crits, but that ain't gonna happen. Because if he lands a Bleak Wind Storm on this Galarian Articuno, wow, that's a competitive boost, buddy. That's a competitive boost. And it's just gonna go down. But I think that's what we're looking at here, so let's see. Will it go down this turn? I believe it will. Bleak Wind Storm coming in. It does indeed hit both targets, so there's that speed fall, but there's also that competitive proc. Bye-bye, Tornadus, and congratulations, Hayes, again for winning this match. Freezing Glare. Man, Galarian Articuno is so cool. And that is the game. Chalk it up for a win for Hayes. Let's go. His opponent could not do much that match. Oh, look at this team. Once again, everybody, it is Guren Shiratori here commentating for my buddy Hayes in his GBC challenges from last month. This is his second match. And right now, his opponent is Alpergata. And it looks like he's running an Arcaludon, a Dragonite, a Sinistea, a Kingdra, the water form of Oberpond, and a Pelipper. Ooh, this is going to be a hard hard rain team. Ooh. I do respect the Kingdra pick a little bit, though, because, water dragon type, right? Two of my favorite typings, and the combinations for these Pokemon are always so wonderful. You got Palkia, you got Kingdra, well, Kingdra being the OG, of course. You got, my goodness, I can't think of another water dragon type. But anyways, let's get started with the battle. We didn't even look at what Hayes picked. But that's okay. I think if I saw correctly, I did see an Okidogi pick, so I could be wrong, though. But he is starting off with the same lead with Monkey Dory and Galarian Zapdos. Drizzle coming out. If I were Hayes, I would probably try to take out the Kingdra as fast as possible. This Pelipper, though, I feel like it's going to be quite an annoyance too, though, but we'll see what happens. He is going with the Terrestrial form in close combat into the Kingdra. So let's see if he can pick up the KO here. Alright, here it goes. Will he pick up the KO with the close combat Terrestrial boosted? Fake out coming in. Ooh, I wonder if that would make it enough to pick it up KO. Oh, and Kingdra's down for the count. Kingdra not known for its physical bulk, but either way, it is God now from the field. Has one less Pokemon on his opponent's side of the team, and Hayes is picking up the first KO. Hurricane coming in. Of course, it's landing because it's raining. But it does get a heal proc off the Black Sludge, so... Dragonite coming out. Ooh, Dragonite. Ooh. I wonder if it's a special Dragonite. Maybe running Hurricane, maybe running Thunder because it's raining. That would be interesting, but... Okay, Trick coming out. And Hayes is going to go for the Detect on his Zapdos. Galarian form. Alright, Detect coming off on the Gyapdos. Monkey Dory Trick. And it has given the Black Sludge to Dragonite and taken the loaded dice. Let's go. Tailwind coming up on the Pelipper. Ooh, that's right. We didn't see that last turn because it went for the Hurricane. Ooh, Dragonite with Encore. Okay, I did not know that's like some hidden tech. That is some hidden tech. I would not expect Encore on a Dragonite at all. Well, he is allowed to only use Trick again, so can't do nothing about that. Looks like he might be going in for the switch, and he's picking the Pheasantipity here. I do wonder if that's a good pick. It might be. It just might be. Because who knows? Because I think Pheasantipity has some pretty decent special defense bulk. I mean, it's not great, but it's decent, right? Hydro Pump coming in. Ooh, less than half HP left. Ooh, Scale Shot going to the Pheasantipity slot, but no effect. Dragon type move. Monkey Dory has now switched the loaded dice with a Focus Sash. Oh, there was a Focus Sash on the Pelipper. Black Sludge coming in with the damage proc once again on the Dragonite for the end of the turn. Pheasantipity healing for the leftovers. Well, that just means more fake out potential later and Monkey Dory comes out again. So, Okie Dokie coming in. Extreme Speed, not taking out the Pheasantipity. Hydro Pump coming in and securing the KO on the Pheasantipity, not allowing it to do anything on the battlefield. Sag. But then again, there is also Tailwind on the field as well, so... That Extreme Speed didn't do as much damage as I thought. So what is this Dragonite? Is it more... Is it just a bulky type? Is it just a bulky Dragonite? I mean, maybe with the normal Terra typing it'll do more damage, but I don't even know what kind of Terra typing it has in the first place. Let's go Poison Fang though, baby, and fake out something. Like the Pelipper, yeah. Don't let that Pelipper get off any more Hydro Pumps, yo. That's gonna be doing a crud load of damage. Oh, the Pelipper coming out. Or switching out. For the Archaludon. Ooh. Protect on the Dragonite and ooh, jeez. Fake out stamina proc on the Archaludon. But it was going to happen one way or another. It was going to get that proc somehow. Regardless if it was from a fake out or a duffer move. Poison Fan going into the Protect, not doing any damage to the Dragonite. And the rain has finally stopped. That's a good thing. That is a very good thing. So we're not going to see any one-turn Electro Shots coming out right now. And the Tailwind has petered out as well for his opponent. I think if I were Hayes right now, I'd probably double down on the Archaludon right now. So I think Knockoff could do quite a decent amount of damage in Archaludon, but yeah. Parting Shot also good. Parting Shot would also be good. Because if the Electro Shot does... I mean, the Electro Shot will go off if he uses it. So, like, you'll get that special attack boost, right? But because of the Parting Shot, now it just becomes, like, as if it had no boost at all, right? Gyapdos coming in once again. Maybe this is what's needed to take out the Archaludon. Encore coming out from the Dragonite once again, but not this time. Not this time. Ooh, Snarl! You know what that means? Defiant proc, baby, on the Gyapdos. Close combat should be able to do a decent amount of damage. Poison Fang is connected onto the Dragonite, and it does give it the poison. Let's go. This Dragonite is probably going to KO itself in a couple of turns from the poison effects and the Black Sludge effects, so probably just leave that alone. Or we could try to take it out. Nah, I would probably just leave it alone myself. But let's go. I think a Stomping Tantrum into Archaludon would be a good choice here, unless it has Protect. But if it has Assault Vest, it does not have Protect. So, I'll go for a Stomping Tantrum here. And then probably close combat onto the Archaludon too. Gotta do as much damage as you can right now, I think, in my opinion. Alright, he's going for it. Ooh. Archaludon being terrestrialized and is turning into an electric typing. Ooh, close combat's not going to do super effective damage anymore. Stomping Tantrum would have, though. Ooh, that's still quite a big chunk of damage, though, after like a +1 to defense, though, from stamina. Ooh, if it was still a steel type, it probably would have taken a crud lot more damage. Skill Shot coming in. Oh, but it's going into the Archaludon for the proc. Ooh, maybe that's why the Extreme Speed didn't do too much damage. There's probably some like negative attack attack stat drops into the Dragonite just for this purpose. Oh, so this thing is meant to probably just be more bulky and annoying. Okay. Electro Shot coming in, but because it's not raining, it will be fired off on the next turn. He does get that special attack boost proc, but because it's only the first one and he was parting shotted earlier, nothing. Okidogi does heal off back to full HP from the Draining Punch, but I still think Stomping Tantrum would have been the better option here, just to deal as much damage as you can to Arcaludon. I don't know how much damage it would have done now, though, because of the Scale Shot procs, but, I mean, I think it would have done more damage than Drain Punch, that's for sure. Pelipper coming out once again with the rain coming out. Oof, that means Tailwind can be set again. Poison Fang onto the Pelipper. Detect onto... I wonder if this was... Is the Pelipper faster than Galarian Zapdos? I feel like it shouldn't be. So I wonder if a close combat would have been perfect here as well, back onto the Arcaludon here instead of using Detect. Would I have risked it though? I might have risked it myself. Close combat coming in, not picking up the KO on the Arcaludon. And I'm not sure if I saw that earlier, but I think... Oof. Critical hit on the Hurricane. Oh boy. Electro Shot coming in. And this time it does have the +1 boost now. Ooh, 69 HP left. Nice. Poison Fang coming in. I think a knockoff would have been a lot better there, because we do know it still has the Assault Vest on, I think. Right? We saw it frisk with an Assault Vest earlier, right? Oh no. Maybe not. So it was an Assault Vest. I was right. It was an Assault Vest. Okay. Let's go. I think a knockoff definitely would have been better there, I think. It probably would have done a lot more damage than the Poison Fang there. I mean, getting that Poison proc would have been also great as well, because it would have KO'd to the Poison that turn, but I think the knockoff was a better option there. And he could have saved this Fake Out for the next turn for his Monkey Dory. Or, yeah, the Monkey Dory could have saved the Fake Out for, like, the Pelipper. Because, if anything, it would have at least given the Okidogi maybe, like, one more turn to live. At least. And then his opponent would have to choose between, like, which Pokemon to attack with. If he wanted to, he could have also Parting Shot as well if his Okidogi was still alive. Hydro Pump coming in though, picking up the KO on the Monkey Dory. That is GG, and Hayes will take his loss in this game. GG to his opponent, but I feel like it could have definitely flown the other way. Once again, what's up everybody? It is Guren Shiratori here with the third battle that I received from my buddy Hayes for the GBC Challenge last month. And looks like we do not get to see the parts where you get to pick which Pokemon to choose. We're just going to go right into the battle. And we have Urshifu and Raging Bolt on the other side and Monkey Dory and Okidogi on Hayes' side. So let's go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Okay, so Stomping Tantrum. Yes. Into a Terastallizing Okidogi. Will he definitely go into the Raging Bolt? I think he loses nothing by going to a Stomping Tantrum right off the bat. Especially with Fake Out potential from Monkey Dory, that Urshifu probably won't be doing anything this turn. Let's go. Terastal, Okidogi, Grass type. Fake Out coming in. Urshifu not doing anything this turn. Thunderclap coming in. Nothing. Probably tried to Thunderclap the Monkey Dory. There we go. That is a big chunk of damage onto the Raging Bolt. With a crit, too. Ooh. Was that leftovers? It is recovering with leftovers. So it's supposed to be more of a bulky variant of Raging Bolt. Okay. I see you, opponent. Yeah, I think he could try go for another Stomping Tantrum with the Raging Bolt as well. I do believe that might be a good call. I mean, if it puts out Protect, it puts out Protect, right? There's just like, there's nothing wrong with that. His opponent is thinking real hard. Oh, withdrawing the Urshifu. Okay, what's coming out onto the field? Ogre Pawn. Heart Flame? Heart Flame, very popular pick nowadays. But I guess it makes sense. Well, Breaker's pretty good. You can never go wrong with like a +1 to your attack, right? But the Protect does indeed come out from the Raging Bolt. Parting Shot coming out onto the Ogre Pawn, lowering its stat drop. So even if it does Terrasilize next turn, it will be going back to regular attack, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure it's just like one stage up, right? You guys can correct me in the comments below. Galarian Moltres coming in. Ooh, I love that pick. He has the chance to set up the Tailwind, if anything. Stomping Tantrum coming out, but it does go into the Protect of Raging Bolt. Alright, alright. Let's see. Raging Bolt recovering more HP. Nothing yet. It's still below 50% HP, so that's still good. It's probably still within KO range, depending on what goes on. Tailwind coming up. And switching out to the Monkey Dory. Okay, let's go. That means more Fake Out potential here. And saving the Okidogi for whatever might come out next. And you definitely don't want to leave it on the field with that Ogre Pawn Heart Flame either. First coming out, so we do see the Heart Flame mask, of course, onto the Ogre Pawn, and we already know that there's leftovers on the on the Raging Bolt. Ivy Cudgel coming in. Oof! A little bit more than half HP left. Tailwind does indeed come out though. Alright, let's get those Fake Outs, baby, on Monkey Dory. Let's go. Leftover recovery now too on the Raging Bolts. Inching ever so closer to that 50% marker on the HP. Fiery Wrath, Fiery Wrath. Air Slash, Air Slash. Air Slash for the possible flinch. 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 Okay, okay. Let's see, let's see. Okay. Let's see what his opponent does. It is indeed using Protect once again on the Raging Bolt. Man, that's annoying. Fake Out coming out. Well, I mean, more or less it kind of did its job. Right? The only thing it didn't do is the damage. Air Slash doing quite a bit of damage to the Ogre Pawn though. And it did flinch it, so now it doesn't get to do anything this turn. Let's go. Raging Bolts has finally reached that 50% marker on its HP bar. Maybe a little bit higher. Fiery Wrath. I would go for a Fiery Wrath here. Why? Because I love that move, Fiery Wrath. It just sounds cool, and it's a spread move. Acid Spray going into the Raging Bolt. It did use Protect last turn, so maybe dropping its special defense stat would be beneficial here. Or you could drop the special defense stat on the Ogre Pawn, but it'll probably go into like a Spiky Shield or something. I do like how Monkey Dory has to look up at Raging Bolt, but then again, a lot of Pokemon have to look up at Raging Bolt, right? But Monkey Dory's like, hey, you scared, huh? You scared what I'm gonna do to you, huh? Long neck, eh? You scared, huh? Urshifu Surging Strikes does come back out onto the field. Thunderclap hits nothing. Monkey Dory goes for the Acid Spray on the Urshifu. Is looking back up at Raging Bolt once he was like, yeah, you lucky. You lucky I aim this Acid Spray at the other side. Yeah, you. I love Monkey Dory, guys. But this Raging Bolt is steadily regaining a lot his HP once again. Oh boy. Fiery Wrath, let's go. Actually, Air Slash would also be good here too, so you can get that flinch off the Urshifu while you still have Tailwind active. But it might have Aqua Jet, so you know, there's those priority moves coming in. Let's see what Haze will do next. I believe both members still have 4 Pokemon on their team. Did I see that correctly? I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Okidogi coming out once again. Ooh, Terrassilization. Where is this Terrassilization going into? It is going into the Urshifu, which is going to be water. Okay, well that gets rid of its fighting typing and making it boost its water type moves. Protect coming out once again on the Raging Bolt. Man, this thing is going to keep healing. Monkey Dory is like, hey, you better stop that, huh? Yeah, you lucky you blocked my parting shot. Surging Strikes coming in from the Urshifu. How much damage will it be doing? Oh, not too much. Even with the crit proc, not too much damage to this Okidogi. One could say that everything is Monkey Dory because this Pokemon is Okidogi. Either way, the Urshifu did not do as much damage as he probably thought he would have to the Galarian Moltres, because it is an Okidogi there. Okay, so the team's Tailwind is now finally out, and I think, yep, now would be a good time to go for another Stomping Tantrum onto the Raging Bolt. Monkey Dory, if you have something to do, maybe another Acid Spray would be nice. Parting Shot would also be good, lowering the attack stat onto the Urshifu. Nope. Yes, Casted Detect. Monkey Dory is probably like, yeah, you lucky. I wasn't looking at you. I never knew you would use Detect, cuz. Stomping Tantrum coming out and bringing Raging Bolt back down to the yellow HP. Draco Meteor coming out. Ooh, Monkey Dory's barely surviving with 12 HP. Now it's at 24. And this Raging Bolt is still healing itself. Yeah, I think a Drain Punch would be good. He can probably lock into the Urshifu right now as well, because it did use Detect last turn. And maybe, yeah, Final Acid Spray. Maybe Final Acid Spray for good measure. You never know. Because if this Raging Bolt chose to Thunderclap instead of Protect this turn, you never know, right? Monkey Dory's like, yeah, do him. Do him, cuz, do him. Oh, he withdrew. He's like, ah, you lucky, you scared. You run scared, boy. Rillaboom coming out, and most likely Grassy Surge, right, at this point. So, more healing for everybody. And priority from Grassy Glide. Yay. Aqua Jet coming out from the Urshifu. And it picks up the KO on Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory is probably in his Pokeball right now, being like, you lucky, cuz. You lucky. Drain Punch coming in. Quite a bit of damage onto the Urshifu and healing quite a bit of HP back on the Okidogi as well. And it's only going to get more HP because of the grassy terrain. But then again, Urshifu is always going to heal back up. Haze's next Pokemon, is it going to be the Galarian Moltres or the Gyarados? It is the Galarian Moltres. Fiery Wrath, baby! Unleash that Fiery Wrath onto your opponents. Let's go. That's what we're waiting for. Poison Fang. Poison Fang. You can probably use a Poison Fang. Actually, odds are this Urshifu could probably use Detect again. So maybe a Poison Fang onto the Rillaboom. This Rillaboom could also be an Assault Vest set too. So like it probably has no access to Protect. So you probably have... That was probably the best thing to aim stuff at right now. Haze does click in for the Drain Punch though. And an Air Slash into... Yeah, Fiery Wrath. Oh, Fiery Wrath. Let's go. Yep, Urshifu coming in with the Detect once again. Fake Out from the Rillaboom. I forgot it could learn Fake Out. I didn't even think about that. But Drain Punch coming in, so opponent's Pokemon are safe for the turn. But they won't be safe for long. Yeah, let's take out that Urshifu, baby. Fiery Wrath again. Or Tailwind. Yeah, Tailwind will be working here too. But the opponent is withdrawing the Urshifu, so out comes again the Raging Bolt. Grassy Glide coming in. Not too much damage on the Galarian Moltres, but I guess that was to be expected. Tailwind coming out. Because this is most likely... Oh. This is most likely a KO from the Okidogi. I wasn't expecting the crit, but didn't matter. Not sure, but either way, the Raging Bolt is gone. Bye-bye, Raging Bolt. So Haze does indeed pick up a KO as well onto his opponent's team. Now, both competitors, I believe, are left at 3 Pokemon apiece. Yes, that is correct. Poison Fang, Air Slash into the Ogerpon. Safe bet, because if it does use Spiky Shield, then at least, you know, it did not make physical contact to take damage from the Spiky Shield. So, let's see what happens. Air Slash coming in, and it KOs the Ogerpon. That is the second Mon KO'd by Haze's team. His opponent now down to Urshifu and Rillaboom. Poison Fan coming out from the Okidogi. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. And I got the Poison proc. Haha, your grassy terrain ain't gonna be healing you for much. anymore. High horsepower? Ooh. Probably more damage than Grassy Glide, not gonna lie. And I'm assuming this Rillaboom doesn't have U-turn either, because he probably could have used that instead. Unless he didn't want to risk it, because if he U-turned and then he had to come on to Urshifu afterwards, but it's probably highly likely maybe he doesn't have U-turn on this Rillaboom. But it really does look like Hayes has this match in the bag. So I think an early GG well played is right. It is right here. And it makes sense. Aqua Jet coming in from the Urshifu, going into the Galarian Moltres, but not a lot of damage. This is one bulky Galarian Moltres. Grassy Glide once again, bringing it down to less than half HP, but that was a big mistake because now you're proccing the Berserk, baby. Let's go! Proc that Berserk proc, baby. Fiery Wrath. Will it KO both Mons? Oh, almost, but Rillaboom will go down as well at the end of this turn. That is GG's. Congratulations, Hayes, for another win in your GBC challenge. GG's to his opponent, who tried to play their best, or did play their best to the best of their abilities, but just could not come out on top this game. Let's go, GaLoyal 6. Once again, Hayes, congratulations on winning the match. And that was the third match from Hayes' GBC challenge. See you all in the next video.